fell?
Yeah, I don't really like 2 touchdown spreads in the pros usually, but let me tell you what, the 49ers, I don't think they're not ready for the Eagles, not at home, that's for sure. Yeah. I think that's a 14. Honestly, I could see the Eagles winning this game by 3 touchdowns easily. I mean, a cruise victory. It's just I don't know how the 49ers are going to be able to move the ball even. I mean, geez, Hyde's pretty good and all, but let's be real here. We got to be honest here, and brutally honest, I guess, after that stupid memo they just sent out. The 49ers are the worst team in football, in my opinion, besides the Browns, and the Eagles are just high-flying, touchdown machines at this point. So I'm definitely going to go with the Eagles, go against my better judgment of the 2 touchdown spread usually in the pros, but I'm going to go with the Eagles, lay the 14, and I will be teasing that down to 8 as well.
Cleveland had a chance to get Carson Wentz. What were they thinking?
They weren't thinking, and that's just another reason why that whole entire organization should be fired. They should up and move in the middle of the night.
Actually, based on the way it is, San Francisco would have had a shot at him too, wouldn't they?
Yeah, there was so much wheeling and dealing. These teams, they see what happens is all these guys, they think that they know better than themselves sometimes, and they totally outthink themselves, and they make these boneheaded decisions on draft day. You notice Bill Belichick is never making boneheaded decisions on draft day, right?
No.
He's always trading back, and next thing you know, Bill Belichick has 15 draft picks in the storage shed.
Well, he has a journeyman team. He's always played a journeyman. As many books as I've read now on Belichick, he doesn't want to build talent from within if he can help it.
No. It's next man up.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy, he's a next man up. Once you have a big contract, see you later, you're out of here, besides a few guys, a few key elements to his system, and everybody else is expendable. And that's the way it should be. This is show business, not show friendship.
I agree. Carolina taking on Tampa Bay. 4-3, 2-4. The big deal here, Tampa Bay is -1 against Carolina. This game's a pick'em. Carolina is kind of on the... I don't know. They're schizophrenic. I don't know what to say about Carolina per se. And Tampa Bay is a couple of points away from being a 6-0 team as compared to a 2-4 team. I don't like this game. I do not like this game.
I like the over in this game. If I had to bet something in this game, I'd bet the over 46. I think that the Buccaneers have the ability to put up points. I think the Panthers can put up some points. But as far as who's going to win this game, honestly, I really have zero opinion. Yeah, I have no opinion. I just avoid it. There's other bets on the board.
Which takes us to one that I have a huge opinion about. First of the afternoon game, Houston in Seattle. Seattle is only -5.5 against Houston. This to me is, it's the bookie move to get you to put money somewhere else. I don't think 5.5 is enough to get me onto Houston. I think Seattle can cover. I think Seattle's going to blow past that cover.
I agree 100%. This is a good spot here. The Seahawks are great at home. We all know that. We all know about the 12th man. I think that this number is a little bit inflated. I could see this number being 5.5 if Seattle was visiting Texas.
Yeah,
the other way around. I have this at least an 8.5 point game. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just the way I have it chopped up. Yeah, I know Deshaun Watson's showing his mettle. He's playing well. This is the Seattle Seahawks defense we're talking about here.
Right.
They're gonna show Deshaun Watson that this is the pros. And Watson might have some points, have a good game, but I see the Seahawks winning this game by 2 touchdowns.
Agreed. Dallas Cowboys, Washington Redskins, NFC whatever divisional matchup. That division is very weird. Philadelphia, Dallas, Washington, the gritty beginnings of pro football. Everybody in that division except for Philadelphia seems to be 3-3. This is no different. Straight up pick 'em Dallas and Washington Redskins. Okay, I still think the Redskins are going to beat them by a touchdown.
I think so too. I've never had any faith in this Cowboys team. I think all the Dak Prescott accolades are a bit premature. I think he's a good quarterback. He shows signs that he's going to be good. I think that the Cowboys' strength is in their line as usual, their offensive line. And, Ezekiel Elliott, this guy can run the ball. If he's running the ball with consistency, that'll open some stuff up for the passing game. But I could see the Redskins coming back home here. They're pretty tough at home, and I think Cousins has a big day here.
I do too. Now a game that has a great deal of interest to me, thanks to Bobby-Capucci. Pittsburgh goes into Detroit. It's a 2-point spread, Pittsburgh -2. It's a pick'em with 2 schizophrenic teams. What's the under?
45.5.
Wow. Do they really think they're going to be that many points? I mean, Detroit's going to score the bulk of those points. Pittsburgh hasn't demonstrated that they can score points.
No, they haven't. I mean, look, Antonio Brown only has 3 touchdowns. Le'Veon Bell only has 4 touchdowns. We're going into week 7. We're talking about, Brown's a big component of this team getting it done on offense. I don't like the Steelers in this game, to be honest with you. I like the Lions in this game. I think the Lions plus the points here it's a good spot. The Lions plus the points here is definitely a good spot. I'm teasing them up to get more points here. And I'll tell you what, I could even see the Lions winning this game outright. I know that sounds a little crazy, but, Steelers are coming in to Detroit. I've never been a big supporter of what they got going on in Detroit or Stafford, but I think this is a good spot for them. I think the Steelers aren't as good as some people think they are, and I think this is more of a pick-em game than they're giving it credit for. I think that the Lions can win this game. I think they will win this game. I looked for Stafford to have a big day, and I look for it to almost turn into a shootout, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think Detroit will ever get the credit for the kind of money ball that they play, because clearly that's what they play. They play to be above 500. And that seems to make the fans happy. And that's fine. Hey, look, you don't have big highs, you don't have big lows. You just have a team that's always kind of in it. So every game's kind of competitive. You don't really care about championships. You just care about being competitive.
Yeah, as a fan of the Lions, if I was a fan of the Lions, I'd be pissed off if that was the culture coming from the top. And that's the way it looks from them, honestly. But, you give Stafford this huge, gigantic contract. You got to bring him in some help, man. It was all from the fun and well while Megatron was there, but he left, and now, you guys got to bring him in some serious help. If you get Stafford 1 or 2 really fantastic big-name receivers, I bet you Stafford would put up monster numbers.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he's this great quarterback that some people make him out to be. I certainly don't think he's deserving of that contract. But I will say this, as a Jets fan, I would take Stafford in a New York minute as the quarterback of the New York Jets. He's not a bad quarterback by any means, but I don't think he's deserving of that contract.
Which takes us to the Monday night game. Denver taking on Kansas City. Big game. But Kansas City's giving up 7.5. Well, Denver shoots themselves in the foot by putting up a donut hole against the Chargers, which really doesn't show a lot of respect to the Charger defense, which is what was the star of that game. But with that said, Denver can scheme, Denver can plan. Is 7.5 enough to make Denver interesting with Kansas City?
Not for me, it's not. The half
either, by the way.
Makes me, the half point kind of makes me stop for a moment and say, but then my better judgment gets a hold of me and I say there's no way. The Broncos are 0-2 on the road. Simeon is not a good quarterback in my opinion, and they're going into Arrowhead. The Chiefs are going to be fired up for this game. They're going to be ready to go at home. I look for Alex Smith to have a pretty good game against a tough Broncos defense, managing the game, not making mistakes. And I looked for Kansas City and ended up winning this game. I have to say that Broncos offense just doesn't impress me. I see Kansas City winning this game something like 23-10, somewhere around there.
Which brings us to the end of the show for all of you listening. Again, November 11th, mark it on your calendars. Go to Sam's Town LV. Go to LasVegasDiscount.net. Join us for an evening of debauchery and alcoholism at Sam's Town LV, where we will watch mixed martial arts with people you don't know the names of and you can't place a bet on. I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm sure that there's somebody betting on it somewhere, somehow, because that's just the way it is. But come on. How with amateurs? How?
It's impossible. I mean, I guess if you and your buddy are, go to the fights all the time, with the local circuit and you're hip to what's going on, I guess you can make some numbers for your buddies or something. But I have no interest of trying to make book for an event like that. That's for sure.
I mean, it's like, and I did this with Billy Wright when we'd go and watch boxing with people that are at the beginning of the card who have no records or low records. He said, you can tell who's going to win by the way they walk into the ring. What? You can tell who's going to win the fight by the way they walk into the ring. You've got to be kidding me. And we actually recorded this. He started picking the first 5 winners just by the way they came to the ring. Everything is confidence at this level. Their skill is all the same at this point. He goes, it's whoever's more confident.
And look, when a guy like Billy Wright's telling you something about guys walking to a ring, you should pop your head up and take notice. The guy knows what he's talking about, and obviously by pointing that out to you, he's proving it that he knows what he's talking about.
He is imparting the wisdom under the tree. We'll do a PS on this show today for you. Give me an update on the National Hockey League.
The NHL, boy, we got a great story brewing here in Las Vegas. First time in 100 years, an expansion team has won 7 of 8 of their first games. Some really good storylines breaking in Vegas. A lot of guys, really playing with a chip on their shoulder after their old teams pretty much gave up on them. And it's been pretty fun to be a part of watching these guys blast through here in Vegas like that. The rest of the NHL, it's so interesting right now in the league. There's all sorts of crazy talk going on right now about some big deals getting ready to happen. Matt Duchene saga is looking like it might be coming to a close soon. The Kings are playing great hockey right now. The New York Rangers are playing terrible. Montreal's playing terrible. So you got some original 6 teams that aren't playing well, and then some original 6 teams that haven't been good for a long time are playing real good, like the Toronto Maple Leafs, not original 6, but I digress. They're a great Canadian team, great young players. Austin Matthews is playing like a monster. This, if you want to watch some fun hockey, I suggest tuning into the Toronto Maple Leafs and checking out what they got going on, because they're really building something fun up there.
Are you betting on anything yet, or are we waiting till the season settles down a little bit?
I have a couple of things going on. Like tonight, I have a nice little homer wager on the New York Rangers puck line to win by a puck and a half against the winless Arizona Coyotes. And if the Rangers can't beat them tonight, then they should fire Alain Vigneault, because this is they have to win this game. But as far as serious wagering, it's coming to a point now where it's, we're 10, 12 games in, where it's getting more serious now, where you can start seeing, some trends, what goaltenders are playing well, who's not playing well, injuries, what coaches have their teams responding to their message. So, yeah, and by next week's show, we're going to have a lot of hockey information to pass on.
Outstanding. Anything we missed?
No, not really. I mean, with all the there's some talk, some scuttlebutt in Montreal that there's going to be a sexual harassment case brought against somebody in the Canadiens organization, and that seems to be the trend lately. I mean, even 90-something-year-old older George Bush was accused now of some sort of impropriety.
Patted a butt. An old man patted a butt. Yeah, they got that one. Yeah. They nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, totally killed it. Good job, guys. Maybe somebody should have said something about Weinstein, 10, 15 years ago. But not my business, I guess. Anyway, yeah, so they're looking for that to break in Montreal, a little scuttlebutt there. But I don't really follow that kind of stuff much. So until, I hear something that's actually reported on TSN or, a true hockey source, I really won't go too deep into that. But if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you might want to hop on the net and take a look.
Absolutely. Hey, Bobby, did you hear? November 11th, we're going to be at Samstown LV. Yet again, another shameless plug on my part. For an evening of Tuff N Uff mixed martial arts, where we'll actually bring you and stream you some live action. We might even call some play-by-play, yada, yada, yada. You'll love it. You'll have fun. Trust me. You will. Yeah. You'll have fun. I promise. Damn it, just buy a ticket. You'll have fun.
I mean, who doesn't have fun watching dudes punch each other in the face?
I always do. I do. And I'm going to buy you alcohol for showing up if you come see it live with us. So
look, let's be honest.
You're going to have a good time.
When we were in school, right, when we were all in high school, middle school, even elementary school, if a fight broke out, what happened? Everybody got around in a circle and watched.
Yeah.
Right. And so that doesn't change when we become adults. We just have to be more adult about it. So this is a good way to watch a couple guys beat each other senseless, maybe see some, some future stars, and you'll definitely have a good time. Like we were saying earlier, the actual product of Tuff N Uff it's unsurpassed as far as what they do and what they promote, and it's crucial to have them around for the future of MMA.
There is a reason for those of you who go to UFC's year-end shows, the one in July or the one at the end of the year. If you guys go watch the expo, you will always see Tuff N Uff fighting happening on the main floor. There's a reason for that. That relationship has been there for a very long time. Now, sadly, the UFC has not called me up, and I don't know why that is. I'm waiting. It could be my age, I guess, or the fact that I can't really fight well, but I think I'm a showman. I think what they need is personality at the 205 division.
You know what? I'm calling Sean Shelby. That's it. We're going to get you in there with CM Punk. We're going to get you a nice payday.
I would cut for a CM Punk. Like, he has a chance with me. That's
right. I meant that an even match. I got that as pick 'em.
That's a pick 'em.
I got it to pick 'em.
That's so fantastic. What if he lost? Oh, you idiot. You're going to have to go back to pro wrestling.
Pro wrestling, forget it. He's going to have to go to something less than pro wrestling.
That is
even.
so low on the food chain if you lose to a second-rate